The pre-dawn silence should have been her first warning. Amara Cole thought she was signing a contract to save her dying aunt's life. She had no idea she was walking into a war that would cost her everything she thought she knew about love, loyalty, and survival. When the mysterious Korean Mafia boss lifted her wedding veil, his breath caught for all the wrong reasons, and she realized this wasn't just an arranged marriage. It was a death sentence with a ring. The chandelier exploded in gunfire before the ink was dry on their marriage certificate, and suddenly, the most dangerous man in Los Angeles was the only thing standing between her and a grave. But here's what nobody expected. Sometimes the monster you marry becomes the hero you never knew you needed. What happened in that warehouse 6 months later will leave you questioning everything you think you know about redemption and revenge. Subscribe and comment if you've ever had to choose between safety and love. Because trust me, this story is about to get darker than you can imagine. Pre-dawn silence filled the diner kitchen. Amara Cole's hands worked the bread dough with practiced rhythm. Knead, fold, turn. The motion calmed her racing thoughts. She glanced at the medication list taped to the refrigerator. Her aunt's pills cost more each month. The numbers made her stomach clench with worry. Amara touched the faint bruise on her cheek. The makeup covered most of it. The scarf would hide the rest. Trevor's ring had caught her skin 3 weeks ago. The mark still lingered. "You're early again," called Maria from the prep station. "Couldn't sleep," Amara said. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. "Miss Cole?" The voice was smooth, professional. "I represent Mr. Kang. He has a proposal." "I don't know any Mr. Kang." "Trevor Hale transferred your aunt's medical debt to our organization. Mr. Kang wishes to discuss terms." Amara felt cold dread settle in her chest. "What kind of terms?" "A meeting. Tonight, 7 p.m. The address will follow." The line went dead. Amara stared at her phone. Trevor had promised the debt was handled. He'd smiled when he said it. That smile always meant trouble. A text arrived with an address in Koreatown. Below it, "Bring the enclosed contract." No contract had arrived. Amara checked the diner's mail slot. Empty. Her phone rang again. Same number. "The contract is being delivered now," the voice said. "Mr. Kang's offer is generous. Your aunt's debt will be forgiven completely." "What does he want?" "Marriage." The word hit her like a physical blow. "Excuse me?" "An arranged marriage. The ceremony is scheduled for tomorrow evening. The contract explains everything. I'm not marrying some stranger. Mr. Kang believes this arrangement will benefit both parties. The debt disappears. Your aunt receives the best medical care available. And if I refuse," silence stretched across the line, "the debt remains, with interest." Mr. Hale was quite specific about collection methods. The phone went dead. Amara's hands shook as she set it down. The bakery timer dinged. The sound echoed in the empty kitchen like a countdown. Evening fog rolled through Koreatown's narrow streets. Ji-hoon Kang adjusted his cufflinks and checked his watch. 7 p.m. exactly. The private hall stood empty except for essential personnel. Dae Kim flanked his right shoulder. 2 more men watched the exits. "The bride arrives in 5 minutes, Dae said. "Security sweep is clean." Ji-hoon nodded. This marriage was business. Nothing more. The union would cement a truce between his organization and the Park family. Min-soo Park's aggression had escalated beyond tolerance. "What do we know about her?" Amara Cole, 29, works 2 jobs. No criminal record. Clean background. Family. An aunt with cancer. Significant medical bills. Ji-hoon felt a flicker of something. Sympathy, perhaps. He pushed it aside. Emotion was a luxury he couldn't afford. A black car pulled to the curb. Ji-hoon watched a figure emerge. The bride wore a simple white dress and a long veil. Her movements were careful, controlled. She walked with her shoulders straight, despite everything. Ji-hoon noted her posture. This woman was not broken. Not yet. "Sir," Dae's voice carried a warning. "Unknown vehicle approaching from the south. Handle it." Dae spoke into his earpiece. The approaching car veered away. The bride reached the hall's entrance. She paused for a moment, then stepped inside. Ji-hoon kept his expression neutral. This was necessity. Protection for his people. An end to Min-soo's provocations. The ceremony would be brief, professional, nothing personal. The hall's interior surprised Amara. She'd expected something gaudy or intimidating. Instead, she found understated elegance. Dark wood, simple flowers, soft lighting. A man in a tailored suit stood near the altar. He was younger than she'd imagined, maybe mid-30s. His face was unreadable. This was Mr. Kang, her future husband. Amara's legs felt unsteady. She'd read the contract twice. The terms were clear. Marriage in exchange for debt forgiveness. Her aunt would receive medical care at the city's best cancer center. The cost was her freedom. Miss Cole, the officiant smiled warmly. Are you ready to begin? No, she would never be ready for this. Yes, Amara said. Mr. Kang moved to stand beside her. He was taller than she'd expected. His presence felt solid, controlled. He didn't look at her directly. Good. She couldn't handle kindness right now. False kindness would break her. We'll keep this simple, the officiant said. Mr. Kang, please state your intention. I take Amara Cole as my wife. I will provide for her protection and security. His voice was steady, businesslike. Amara felt grateful for the emotional distance. Miss Cole, she cleared her throat. I take Ji-hoon Kang as my husband. The words tasted strange in her mouth. The rings? A small box appeared in Mr. Kang's hand. He slipped a simple gold band onto her finger without ceremony. She did the same for him. By the authority vested in me, a phone buzzed. Mr. Kang's assistant checked it quickly. His expression shifted. Sir, he said quietly, we have company. Amara turned. A familiar figure stood at the back of the hall. Trevor. He smiled and raised his phone. The camera lens caught the light. Breathe, Ji-hoon said. His voice cut through Amara's rising panic. Trevor's smile widened. He mouthed the word cheese and snapped photos. Continue, Ji-hoon told the officiant. His hand settled on Amara's elbow. The touch was firm, but not harsh. By the authority vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. The officiant's voice shook slightly. He'd noticed Trevor too. Mr. Hale, Ji-hoon called. His tone remained conversational. You're not invited. Just documenting the happy occasion. Trevor pocketed his phone. Your bride looks lovely. A little pale, though. Ji-hoon's hand tightened on Amara's arm. Not painful, but protective. Day. The assistant moved toward Trevor with measured steps. Now. Trevor raised his hands in mock surrender. I'm leaving. Just wanted to congratulate the happy couple. He turned toward the exit, then paused. Oh, Amara, you might want to call your aunt. Check on her evening medication. The threat was clear. Amara's breath caught. Trevor walked away, whistling. The hall doors closed behind him. The ceremony is complete, the officiant said quickly. Congratulations to you both. Ji-hoon's jaw was tight. Day, escort Miss Cole. Mrs. Kang to the car. No. Amara's voice surprised her with its strength. I need to call my aunt first. You need to be safe first. She's my family. Something shifted in Ji-hoon's expression. He handed her his phone. Make it quick. Amara dialed with shaking fingers. Her aunt answered on the second ring. Amara, is everything all right? Are you safe? Are you at home? Yes, dear. I just took my evening pills. Why do you sound upset? Relief flooded through Amara's chest. I'll explain later. Stay inside. Don't answer the door. Amara, please, Aunt Janet. Promise me. I promise. Amara ended the call. Ji-hoon was watching her carefully. She's safe, she said. For now. The chandelier above them exploded in a spray of crystal. Glass rained down in glittering pieces. Ji-hoon's body slammed into Amara, driving her behind an overturned table. His weight covered her completely. Stay down, he said into her ear. Gunshots echoed through the hall. Short, precise bursts. Amara couldn't see the shooters. She could only hear movement and Ji-hoon's steady breathing above her. Day, report. 3 hostiles, east entrance, covering your position. More gunfire, then silence. Ji-hoon lifted his head slightly. Clear? Clear. 2 down, 1 wounded. No casualties on our side. The package? Gone. Left this behind. Day approached with a folded paper. Ji-hoon read it quickly. What does it say? Amara whispered. Ji-hoon's eyes found hers. Return what's mine. Trevor? No. This isn't his handwriting. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. We need to move, Day said. Ji-hoon helped Amara to her feet. Glass crunched under her shoes. Her wedding dress was torn at the knee. Are you hurt? Ji-hoon asked. I don't think so. Her hands were shaking. Her breath came in short gasps. She felt like she might collapse. Look at me. Ji-hoon's voice was gentle but firm. Breathe with me. In through your nose, out through your mouth. She followed his rhythm. Slowly, her breathing steadied. Good. We're going to walk out of here. Stay close. His palm settled over her racing heart. The touch anchored her. Who's trying to hurt us? People who don't want peace. The sirens were almost here now. A small anteroom connected to the main hall. The officiant waited inside, clutching his certificate book. "The ceremony," he said nervously. "Should we consider it void?" "No." Jihoon's voice was absolute. "Finish it." "Sir, perhaps under the circumstances." "Now." Emergency lights flickered overhead. The officiant opened his book with trembling fingers. "The vows have been spoken, the rings exchanged, but there remains one final tradition." He looked between them uncertainly. "You may lift the veil." Amara felt her breath stop. In all the chaos, she'd forgotten about the veil. This stranger, her husband, would see her face for the first time. Jihoon's hands moved slowly. He grasped the edges of the lace veil. His fingers were steady despite everything. He lifted the fabric away from her face. His breath caught. Amara looked up into dark eyes that had gone suddenly soft. She saw surprise there, something deeper than surprise. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "About what?" "I thought this would be simple." The veil pooled at her feet. Jihoon's gaze traced her features, the fading bruise on her cheek, the determined set of her jaw, the clear intelligence in her eyes. This was not the broken victim he'd expected to rescue. This was a survivor. "The ceremony is complete," the officiant said. "You are legally husband and wife." Jihoon's phone buzzed. He checked it without looking away from Amara's face. His expression hardened. "We need to leave. Now." "What is it?" "A message from the Park family. Your bride is a leaver." Fear spiked through Amara's chest. "What does that mean?" "It means they plan to use you against me." The emergency lights went out. The room plunged into darkness. In the black silence, Amara heard footsteps approaching. Jihoon's hand found hers in the darkness. His grip was strong, reassuring. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Red exit signs glowed dimly, enough light to see shapes moving. Dai appeared at Jihoon's shoulder. "Service exit is compromised," Dai said quietly. "Main entrance is clear." "How many?" "Unknown. They cut the power before I could get a count." Amara's heart hammered against her ribs. She wanted to run. She wanted to hide. Instead, she squeezed Jihoon's hand and stayed close. They moved through the darkened hall in single file. Jihoon led. Amara followed. Dai brought up the rear. Glass crunched underfoot. The chandelier had scattered crystal across the entire floor. "Cars outside," Dai said. "Armored." They reached the main doors. Jihoon paused, listening. "Move fast. Don't stop." He pushed through the doors. Cool night air hit Amara's face. A black SUV idled at the curb, engine running. They crossed the sidewalk quickly. Jihoon opened the rear door and helped her inside. He slid in beside her. "Go," he told the driver. The SUV pulled away smoothly. No screech of tires, no dramatic acceleration, just steady progress through the empty streets. Amara looked back at the hall. It appeared peaceful from the outside, no sign of the violence inside. "Where are we going?" "My home. It's secure." Her phone chimed, a text from an unknown number. "Your aunt looks peaceful when she sleeps." Below the message was a photo, her aunt's bedroom window taken from outside. Amara's hands began to shake. "They're watching her." Jihoon took the phone. His jaw tightened as he read. "Day, contact our security team. I want protection on Mrs. Palmer immediately. Already dispatched, ETA 3 minutes. Amara felt tears prick her eyes. "This is because of the marriage. They're going after her because of me." "No." Jihoon's voice was firm. "This is because of me. You're not responsible for my enemies. But she's in danger because evil people exist. That's not your fault." His tone carried absolute conviction. Amara found herself believing him. The SUV turned onto a winding road. Tall gates appeared ahead. Security cameras tracked their approach. "Welcome to your new home," Jihoon said. The gates opened with silent efficiency. The estate stretched across several acres of manicured hillside. The house was large but not ostentatious. Clean lines, warm stone, plenty of windows. "It's beautiful," Amara said. "It's safe." The SUV stopped under a covered portico. More men in dark suits waited, professional, alert. Jihoon helped her out of the car. "Mrs. Han will show you to your room." A woman in her 60s approached. Grey hair pulled back severely, sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Mrs. Kang." She bowed slightly. "Welcome." "It's just Amara." "Mrs. Kang," Mrs. Han repeated firmly. Jihoon spoke quietly with Day. Something about perimeter checks and communication protocols. "Come," Mrs. Han said. "You must be tired." She led Amara through the front door. The interior was warm, comfortable, expensive without being showy. "Your room is on the second floor. Mr. Kang thought you might prefer privacy." They climbed a curved staircase. Family photos lined the walls. Ji-hoon looked younger in some of them. Happy. Separate rooms? Amara asked. Mr. Kang was quite specific. You're to have your own space, your own key. Relief flooded through her. She'd feared the worst. A man who would demand his marital rights immediately. Mrs. Han opened a door at the end of the hallway. This is yours. The room was lovely. Large bed with soft linens. Sitting area by the windows. An attached bathroom. Thank you. Mr. Kang asked me to tell you something. Mrs. Han's voice softened slightly. You're not a prisoner here. You're family. Amara felt her throat tighten with unexpected emotion. The kitchen is always open. Mrs. Palmer's medication has been delivered to the main pharmacy downtown. They'll prepare it fresh daily. How did he... Mr. Kang handles details. Mrs. Han turned to leave, then paused. He lost his family 3 years ago. Car bomb meant for him. He blames himself. Why are you telling me this? Because he'll never tell you himself. The door closed softly behind her. Amara walked to the window. The city sparkled below, distant and peaceful from this height. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Sleep well, bride. Tomorrow we discuss terms. A chill ran down her spine. She checked the locks on her door. Solid. Secure. But she didn't feel safe. Not yet. Outside, headlights crept up the private road. The real game was just beginning. Dawn light filtered through bulletproof glass. Amara woke to the sound of distant drilling. She'd slept fitfully, startling at every small noise. Her wedding dress hung in the closet. Someone had cleaned and pressed it during the night. The torn knee was expertly mended. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Mrs. Kang? Mrs. Han's voice. Breakfast is ready. Amara found clothes in the dresser, simple but well made. Everything in her size. How did you know my measurements? Mr. Kang is thorough, Mrs. Han said when Amara reached the kitchen. The dining room felt too formal. Amara sat at the kitchen island instead. Mrs. Han served coffee and fresh pastries. Where is Mr. Kang? Dealing with last night's security breach. The drilling sound continued. Amara could see workers installing additional cameras through the window. Was anyone hurt? No, but the perimeter was compromised. New protocols are necessary. Ji-hoon appeared in the doorway. He'd changed into casual clothes. Dark jeans, white shirt. He looked more approachable this way. How did you sleep? Not well. Understandable. He poured himself coffee. I have news about your aunt. Amara's chest tightened. Is she safe? For now. But there was an incident at her building last night. What kind of incident? Someone tried to enter her apartment. My security team intercepted them. Fear flooded through her system. I need to see her. That's not possible right now. She's my responsibility. She's under professional protection, the best available. Amara stood abruptly. I'm not staying locked up while she's in danger. Ji-hoon's voice stayed calm. You're both targets now. Moving around the city increases risk. I don't care about risk. I do. His tone carried absolute authority. Amara felt her temper flare. This isn't a discussion, she said. She's family. So are you now. The words hung between them, heavy with meaning neither wanted to examine. Mrs. Han cleared her throat diplomatically. Perhaps we could arrange a secure video call? Ji-hoon nodded slowly. 20 minutes encrypted line. It wasn't enough, but it was something. Thank you, Amara said. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Caged birds don't sing for long. Ji-hoon read the message over her shoulder. His jaw tightened. Day. The assistant appeared immediately. Trace this number. I want location data within the hour. Already working on it, sir. Amara felt the walls closing in. How long will this last? Until the threat is eliminated. And if it's never eliminated? Ji-hoon's eyes found hers. It will be. The certainty in his voice should have been comforting. Instead, it made her wonder what elimination meant. The video call lasted exactly 20 minutes. Her aunt looked pale but determined. The cancer was stable. The new medication helped with pain. You look different, dear, Aunt Janet said. Older somehow. It's been a long day. This man you married, is he good to you? Amara glanced at Ji-hoon. He stood across the room giving them privacy while remaining alert. He's protecting us. That's not what I asked. I don't know yet. Her aunt's expression softened. Give it time. Good men sometimes wear their kindness quietly. The call ended. Amara felt hollow with worry. She looks weak, she said. The doctors are optimistic, Ji-hoon said. The new treatment protocol shows promise. You spoke to her doctors? I spoke to the best oncologist on the West Coast, Dr. Martinez agreed to consult on her case. Amara stared at him. That must have cost... Money isn't relevant. Everything costs something. Yes. His voice was quiet. But not everything costs money. Before she could ask what he meant, Day entered with a tablet. Security footage from the apartment building, he said. The video showed a man in dark clothing, attempting to pick the lock on her aunt's door. He worked quickly, professionally. Then he looked up at the hidden camera. Trevor's face filled the screen. He's escalating, Jihoon said. What does he want? You. But more than that, Jihoon paused the video. He wants to prove that no one can protect what he considers his property. Anger surged through Amara's chest. I was never his property. No, but Trevor doesn't see it that way. The drilling outside stopped. Sudden silence felt ominous. Day's earpiece crackled. Sir, we have movement at the south gate. How many? 2 vehicles, unknown occupants. Jihoon's posture shifted. Battle ready. Mrs. Han, take Mrs. Kang to the safe room. No. Amara's voice was firm. I'm not hiding while you handle my problems. These aren't your problems. Trevor is my ex-boyfriend. This started because of me. This started because of greed and pride. You're just the excuse. The logic was sound, but Amara couldn't shake the guilt. At least, let me help somehow. You want to help, stay alive, that's the most important thing right now. His tone brooked no argument, but something in his eyes softened the command. Please, he said. The word came out rusty, unused, like he wasn't accustomed to asking instead of ordering. Amara felt her resistance crumble. Okay. Mrs. Han led her toward a concealed door behind the kitchen pantry. The safe room was small but well-equipped. Monitors showed every angle of the estate. How often does this happen? More frequently since yesterday, Mrs. Han said. Marriage changed the game. On the monitors, Amara watched the 2 vehicles approach. They stopped just outside the gate. No one got out. What are they doing? Testing response time, mapping security positions. Jihoon appeared on one of the screens. He walked toward the gate with calm confidence. No visible weapons, but 2 men flanked him at a distance. The vehicles backed away slowly. Warning delivered, Mrs. Han said. What warning? That they know where you live. The all clear came an hour later. Amara emerged from the safe room feeling caged and restless. She found Jihoon in his study. He sat behind a massive desk, reviewing security reports. False alarm, she asked. Reconnaissance. They're mapping our defenses. Who are they exactly? Jihoon gestured to a chair. The Park family controls territory south of downtown. We've had an uneasy peace for 2 years. And Trevor works for them now. Runs their money laundering through his nightclub. The pieces clicked together. So marrying me was supposed to end the conflict? Marriage creates bonds, makes betrayal costly. But they don't want peace. Minsu Park wants expansion. My territory includes some very profitable operations. Amara studied his face. What kind of operations? Legitimate ones. Security consulting, private investigations, import, export. That's not the whole truth. Jihoon's eyes sharpened. No, but it's the only truth that matters for this conversation. She appreciated his honesty about the dishonesty. What happens now? Now we wait. They'll make a move soon. And then? Then I end this. The certainty in his voice made her shiver. She was married to a man capable of ending things permanently. I should call the police. The police can't protect you from this. They don't have the resources or the authority. But you do. Yes. One word. No elaboration. No justification. Her phone buzzed. Same unknown number as before. Your husband's first wife made the same mistake. Trusting him. Ice flooded Amara's veins. His first wife! Jihoon read the message. His face went completely still. What happened to her? Silence stretched between them. Long and painful. Car bomb, he said finally. Meant for me. When? 3 years ago. Were you married long? 2 years. She was pregnant. The words came out flat, emotionless. But Amara saw the pain underneath. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, be careful. He stood and walked to the window. His posture was rigid with control. They're using her memory as a weapon. Does it work? Every time. Amara felt something shift in her chest. This man carried enormous guilt. He'd built his life around protecting others because he'd failed to protect the people who mattered most. It wasn't your fault, wasn't it? No. The people who planted the bomb were at fault. I chose this life. I brought her into it. She chose it too. She married you knowing what you were. Jihoon turned from the window. Did you? Know what I was? Amara considered the question honestly. Not entirely, but I knew you were dangerous. And you married me anyway. I married you because I had no choice. You always have choices. Not good ones. He nodded slowly. No, not good ones. Outside, storm clouds gathered over the city. The first fat raindrops hit the windows. I need to bake something, Amara said suddenly. What? When I'm stressed, I bake. It helps me think. The kitchen is yours. Thank you. She turned to leave, then paused. Jihoon? Yes? What was her name? Your first wife? Sarah. She was lucky to be loved by you. His breath caught. No, she wasn't. But his voice was softer when he said it. The kitchen felt like sanctuary. Amara found flour, eggs, sugar, basic ingredients that could become something beautiful. Mrs. Han watched her work without interfering. You bake professionally? Part-time. Night shift at Marco's Diner downtown. Good bread requires patience and attention. You can't rush the process. Amara kneaded the dough with steady rhythm. The motion soothed her racing thoughts. How long have you worked for Mr. Kang? 5 years, since after the tragedy. What was she like? Sarah. Mrs. Han's hands stilled on the dish towel. Kind. Too kind for this world. Did she know about his work? She knew he was dangerous. She thought love could change him. Can it? Love changes everyone, but not always in the ways we hope. The dough was smooth and elastic under Amara's hands, ready for the first rise. He blames himself. Of course he does. Good men always blame themselves for things beyond their control. And bad men? Bad men blame everyone else. Amara covered the dough with a damp towel. Which kind is Trevor? The worst kind. A weak man who thinks violence makes him strong. Thunder rumbled outside. The storm was getting closer. Jihoon appeared in the doorway. He'd changed into a black sweater. The color made his eyes look darker. Smells good, he said. Bread takes time. This is just the beginning. How much time? 2 hours, maybe 3. He nodded. I'll be in my office if you need anything. Jihoon? She stopped him before he could leave. The message about Sarah. Does it happen often? Often enough. Who sends them? Someone who wants me to make mistakes. Do you? Make mistakes when you think about her? His jaw tightened. Every time. He left without another word. Mrs. Han shook her head. That man carries the weight of the world. Someone has to. No, someone chooses to. The dough began its slow rise. Outside, rain started falling in earnest. Amara's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Pretty kitchen. Shame if something happened to it. She showed the message to Mrs. Han. The older woman's expression hardened. They're watching the house. How? Cameras, drones, money buys many eyes. Fear crawled up Amara's spine. Are we safe here? Mr. Kang doesn't leave things to chance, but nowhere is completely safe. Comforting. Safety isn't about location, it's about preparation. Mrs. Han opened a drawer and pulled out a small device. Panic button. Press it if you're ever alone and afraid. What happens when I press it? Mr. Kang comes. No matter where he is or what he's doing, Amara clipped the button to her belt. Has anyone ever used it? Once, a gardener found strangers on the property. Mr. Kang arrived in 4 minutes. What happened to the strangers? They left, quickly. Thunder crashed overhead. The lights flickered once. In the darkness between flickers, Amara saw a red dot crawl across the kitchen window. Then it was gone. Did you see that? Amara whispered. Mrs. Han was already moving toward the wall panel. She pressed a hidden switch. Metal shutters began descending over every window. See what? A red dot. On the window. Laser sight. Mrs. Han's voice was calm but urgent. She pressed another button. Alarms began blaring throughout the house. Jihoon burst into the kitchen. What happened? Sniper scope, Mrs. Han said. Kitchen window. Where's Day? Perimeter sweep. South side. Jihoon spoke into his earpiece. Code red. All units to defensive positions. He turned to Amara. Safe room. Now. But the bread? Now. His voice cut through her protests. Mrs. Han grabbed Amara's arm and pulled her toward the hidden door. The safe room felt smaller with 3 people. Security monitors showed figures moving in the darkness outside. Professional. Coordinated. How many? Jihoon asked. Mrs. Han counted the thermal signatures. At least 6, maybe more. Weapons. Rifles. Night vision. They came prepared. Jihoon's face was granite. This isn't reconnaissance. This is an assault. On what? You. The word hit Amara like a physical blow. These people were here to kill her. Or kidnap her. Either option was terrifying. Why not just shoot through the window? Because they want you alive. Dead wives don't make effective leverage. A new voice crackled through the earpiece. Sir, they're requesting communication. Put them through. Static filled the room. Then a familiar voice. Jihoon Kang. We need to talk. Not Trevor. Someone else. Older. More controlled. Min-Soo Park, Jihoon said. You're trespassing. I'm negotiating. Send out the bride. We'll discuss terms. No terms. Be reasonable. She's worth more alive than dead. She's worth more free than captive. Laughter echoed through the speaker. Freedom is an illusion, Kang. You know that. What do you want? Your territory. Your operations. Your submission. And in exchange, the girl lives. Your men live. You get to walk away. Silence stretched through the safe room. Amara could hear her own heartbeat. Counteroffer, Jihoon said finally. Leave now. Never contact my family again. Die of old age instead of bullets. Your family. You've known her for 2 days. Long enough. She's not Sarah, Kang. She can't fill that hole in your chest. Jihoon's jaw tightened. Sarah has nothing to do with this. Sarah has everything to do with this. You failed her. You'll fail this one too. The words hung in the air. Poison designed to weaken resolve. 5 minutes, Min-Soo said. Send her out or we come in. The line went dead. Mrs. Han checked her watch. What's the plan? Jihoon studied the security monitors. They're in standard formation. 2 at each exit. 2 mobile units. Can your people handle it? Not without casualties. He looked at Amara. Something desperate flickered in his eyes. There's another option. What? You could go with them. The suggestion hit her like cold water. Excuse me? Temporarily. Buy me time to maneuver. You want me to surrender. I want you alive. Even if it means losing your territory. Territory can be replaced. Mrs. Han stared at him. Sir, that's not... 5 minutes isn't enough time for a tactical response, but it's enough time for her to get out safely. Amara felt anger surge through her chest. No, it's the logical choice. It's the coward's choice. It's the smart choice. Smart for who? You. Your conscience. His eyes flashed. Smart for keeping you breathing. What about keeping my dignity intact? The words stopped him cold. Dignity doesn't matter if you're dead. Dignity is the only thing that matters if you're dead. They stared at each other. The silence stretched taut between them. Mrs. Han cleared her throat. 30 seconds left. Jihoon's earpiece crackled. Sir, they're moving toward the house. All units hold position. Sir, hold position. He looked at Amara one more time. Last chance. No. Then we do this the hard way. His voice carried grim determination. Outside, gunfire erupted into the night. The battle lasted 12 minutes, brief and surgical. Amara watched through the security monitors as Jihoon's men moved with deadly precision. No one approached the house directly. Instead, they eliminated the attackers from concealed positions. Quick, clean, professional. When it was over, 4 bodies lay motionless in the rain. 2 others had fled into the darkness. Status report, Jihoon said into his earpiece. All hostiles neutralized or fled, no casualties on our side. Sweep the perimeter, make sure we're clear. Copy that. Jihoon looked exhausted. The weight of command, of protecting others, showed in every line of his body. Is it over? Amara asked. For tonight. And tomorrow. Tomorrow we plan. Mrs. Han checked the monitors one more time. All clear. Systems normal. They emerged from the safe room into chaos. Broken glass littered the kitchen floor. Bullet holes starred the metal shutters. Amara's bread dough sat forgotten on the counter, still rising despite everything. I should check that, she said. Leave it. Bread doesn't wait for convenient timing. She uncovered the bowl. The dough had doubled in size, perfect texture. It's ready for the next stage. What's the next stage? Shaping, then a second rise. She punched down the dough and began forming it into loaves. The familiar motions calmed her racing pulse. Jihoon watched her work. How can you do that? Do what? Function normally, after what just happened. This is how I function. I bake. I take care of people. People tried to kill you tonight. People have been trying to hurt me for months. This is just a different kind of violence. Her hands shaped the dough with practiced efficiency. Trevor used to threaten me every week, sometimes daily. That's different. How? That was personal. This is business. Violence is violence, Jihoon. The motivation doesn't change the fear. She placed the shaped loaves into pans. 30 minutes for the second rise, then an hour to bake. Why does it matter? Because tomorrow people will need breakfast. Mrs. Han will need her morning bread. You'll need something to eat before you figure out how to end this. And bread accomplishes that? Bread accomplishes normalcy, which is the most important thing people need during chaos. She covered the loaves with clean towels. Besides, I promised myself something when I was hiding in that safe room. What? That I wouldn't let fear stop me from living. Ji-hoon's expression softened. Even if living is dangerous? Especially if living is dangerous. Rain continued drumming against the shutters, but inside the kitchen, warmth and rising bread made everything feel almost normal, almost safe. Amara, yes? Thank you. For what? For not giving up. She looked at him, really looked at him. This man who carried guilt and responsibility in equal measure, who protected others because he'd failed to protect the ones he loved most. Thank you for not letting me. Something shifted in his expression. The first crack in his carefully maintained armor. Outside, sirens wailed in the distance, but they were moving away from the house. The immediate danger had passed, but Amara knew this was just the beginning. Morning brought false calm. Amara woke to sunlight streaming through bulletproof glass. The events of the night felt like a nightmare, but bullet holes in the kitchen shutters proved otherwise. She found fresh bread cooling on wire racks. Someone had finished baking while she slept. Mrs. Han. Mr. Kang, came the reply from the doorway. Ji-hoon stood there holding a coffee cup. His hair was damp from a shower. He'd changed into a clean shirt, but exhaustion shadowed his eyes. You baked the bread? It seemed important to you. Did you sleep at all? Sleep is a luxury I can't afford right now. Amara felt her chest tighten with unexpected tenderness. This dangerous man had spent his sleepless night baking bread because it mattered to her. How did you know the timing? I watched you yesterday. 30 minutes second rise, 60 minutes baking time. You were paying attention. I pay attention to everything that matters. His voice was quiet, matter of fact, but the implication made her breath catch. She mattered to him. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We need to talk. The seriousness in his tone made her stomach clench. About what? About ending this. Day appeared in the kitchen doorway. Sir, the cars are ready. Where are we going? Amara asked. Somewhere secure, away from the house. Why? Because they know where we live now. Staying here makes us predictable. Fear spiked through her system. For how long? Until it's finished. What about my aunt? She's being moved to a private medical facility. Better security, better care. Relief and worry warred in her chest. Can I see her? Eventually. Right now. Contact puts her at risk. Amara felt the walls closing in again. How long until eventually? Ji-hoon's eyes found hers. I don't know. The honesty was brutal but appreciated. What if this never ends? It will end. How can you be certain? Because I won't stop until it does. The absolute conviction in his voice should have been comforting. Instead, it made her wonder what stopping meant for the people trying to hurt them. Mrs. Han appeared with packed bags. Everything is ready. Where are we going? Amara asked again. Safe house, Ji-hoon said. Isolated, defendable. Prison, in other words. Protection. What's the difference? Prison keeps you in. Protection keeps others out. And if I want to leave? Silence stretched between them, long and telling. You're free to go whenever you want, Ji-hoon said finally. But I can't guarantee your safety if you do. Or my aunt's safety. No? At least he was honest about the cage he was building. How long do we have before we leave? 10 minutes. I need to call my work. Tell them I won't be in. Already handled. You're taking extended medical leave. You can't just... I can. And I did. Anger flared in her chest. Stop making decisions for me. Stop making decisions that could get you killed. They stared at each other across the kitchen island. Battle lines drawn over something deeper than logistics. I'm not your possession, Amara said. No, you're my responsibility. I didn't ask for that. You married me. Responsibility comes with the territory. Forced marriage. There's a difference. Not anymore. The words hung heavy between them. Loaded with meaning neither wanted to examine too closely. Day cleared his throat diplomatically. Sir, we should move. Ji-hoon nodded. Mrs. Han, you'll stay here. Maintain normal routines. And if they come back? They won't. Not immediately. They'll assume we've relocated. How can you be sure? Because it's what I would do. The safe house sat on 50 acres of wooded hillside. Modern construction disguised to look rustic. Solar panels hidden beneath weathered shingles. Satellite dishes camouflaged as dead trees. Remote, Amara observed. Isolated, Ji-hoon corrected. There's a difference. The interior was comfortable but clearly designed for security. Reinforced walls, bullet-resistant windows, multiple exit routes. How many people know about this place? 4, including us. Who are the other 2? Day. And the man who built it. Where is he now? Dead. The casual way he said it made her shiver. Natural causes. Does it matter? It matters to me. Ji-hoon studied her face. Heart attack. 3 months after construction finished. Convenient timing. I thought so. At least he didn't insult her intelligence by claiming coincidence. Day performed a security sweep while they settled in. The place was stocked for a long siege. Food, water, medical supplies, enough ammunition to outfit a small army. How long can we stay here? As long as necessary. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have. Amara explored the main floor while Ji-hoon reviewed security protocols. The kitchen was well equipped. Industrial appliances, professional-grade everything. Someone expected to do a lot of cooking here. Sarah designed the kitchen. The admission surprised her. She was here. We used to come here on weekends, when things got too intense in the city. She knew about your work. She knew I was dangerous. She thought she could handle it. What happened? Ji-hoon leaned against the doorframe. Exhaustion showed in every line of his body. She got pregnant. Wanted me to quit. Choose between the family business and our family. What did you choose? I was trying to find a way to choose both. And I ran out of time. The pain in his voice was raw, unguarded. The bomb was meant for me. They knew my route to the doctor's office, knew she'd be in the car. Who knew? Someone close. Someone trusted. Understanding dawned. That's why you can't trust anyone completely. That's why I trust very few people completely. Do you trust me? The question came out before she could stop it. Ji-hoon's eyes found hers. I'm learning to. What does that mean? It means you've had opportunities to betray me. You haven't taken them. Yet. They stood in the kitchen where his dead wife had planned meals and dreamed of normal life. The weight of that history pressed down on everything. I'm not her, Amara said quietly. No, you're not. Is that good or bad? I don't know yet. His honesty was brutal and refreshing. I won't try to change you. Why not? Because the man you are is the man who can protect the people I love. Something shifted in his expression. Surprise, recognition. Your aunt. My aunt, Mrs. Han. The staff at your house. People who depend on you. And you? The question hung between them, loaded with possibility. I'm still deciding. About what? Whether I need protecting or just space to protect myself. Ji-hoon nodded slowly. Fair enough. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance. Another storm approaching. We should check the weather reports, Amara said. Why? Because I want to bake something. And baking requires planning. You brought ingredients? I brought flour. Everything else, I improvise. For the first time since she'd met him, Ji-hoon almost smiled. Improvisation. I can respect that. The storm arrived with biblical fury. Rain hammered the reinforced windows. Wind howled through the trees. Lightning strobed across the darkened valley. Amara worked in the kitchen, creating bread from basic ingredients. Ji-hoon sat at the island, cleaning a pistol with methodical precision. The domestic scene felt surreal. Newlyweds playing house while the world tried to kill them. How did you learn to bake? Ji-hoon asked. My aunt. She owned a bakery before she got sick. What happened to it? Medical bills. She had to sell to pay for treatment. I'm sorry. Don't be. She's alive. That's what matters. Amara kneaded dough with steady rhythm. The motion soothed her racing thoughts. What will you do when this is over? Open another bakery, maybe. Somewhere safe. Where's safe? I don't know yet. But I'll find it. Confidence rang in her voice, not bravado, certainty. What about you? She asked. What will you do? Ji-hoon reassembled the pistol without looking. Muscle memory. Same thing I always do. Protect what matters. What if what matters changes? Then I adapt. That's simple. Nothing about this is simple. Thunder crashed overhead. The lights flickered. Generator will kick in if we lose power, Ji-hoon said. How often does that happen? Often enough to plan for. The dough was smooth and elastic under her hands, ready for the first rise. Tell me about your family, Amara said. Before Sarah, Ji-hoon's hands stilled on the gun. Not much to tell. Everyone has a story. Some stories aren't worth telling. Try me. He considered her for a long moment, weighing trust against privacy. My father built this organization from nothing. Street-level protection rackets, small-time smuggling, and you inherited it. I earned it. The distinction mattered to him. How? By being better at violence than anyone else. Better how? Smarter, more controlled, more willing to cross lines others wouldn't cross. What lines? You don't want to know. Maybe not. But I need to know. Why? Because I need to understand what I married into. Jehoon set down the pistol. You married into a war that's been going on for 20 years. Between who? My family and everyone else who wants what we have, which is control. Over what? Territory, people, information, money. Through violence, through the threat of violence. Actual violence is inefficient, but sometimes necessary, sometimes inevitable. Lightning illuminated the kitchen in stark white. For a moment, everything looked frozen in time. How many people have you killed? The question came out quietly. Matter of fact. Jehoon's jaw tightened. Do you really want that answer? Yes. Enough. More than 5? Yes. More than 10? Yes. More than 20? Silence stretched between them. Yes, he said finally. Amara felt her breath catch. She'd suspected, but confirmation still hit hard. Do you regret it? I regret the necessity of it. That's not the same thing. No, it's not. She shaped the dough into loaves. Her hands moved automatically while her mind processed. The people who died, were they trying to hurt innocents? Some of them, and the others, were trying to hurt me, which counts as self-defense. I tell myself that. Do you believe it? Most days. Thunder crashed again, closer this time. What about the days you don't believe it? Those are harder. The vulnerability in his voice surprised her. This man carried the weight of his actions, felt the moral cost. You're not a monster, she said. How can you be sure? Because monsters don't feel guilt. Maybe I'm just good at pretending. No, you're not. She covered the shaped loaves with damp towels. 30 minutes rise time. And then we bake. Is it always this simple? Bread? Bread is never simple. It's just honest. You put in what you get out. Unlike people. Unlike people. The lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in immediately. Soft red glow that preserved night vision. Generator? Amara asked. Jehoon was already moving toward the window. No, this is something else. His earpiece crackled. Sir, we have multiple vehicles approaching. Estimate 12 hostiles. How long until they reach the perimeter? 3 minutes. Jehoon turned to Amara. His face was grim in the red light. Safe room. Now. What about the bread? Forget the bread. I'm not leaving it. Amara, 30 minutes, that's all I need. You don't have 30 minutes. Gunfire erupted outside. Automatic weapons, professional grade. Go, Jehoon said. I'll handle this. Together. No, not together. You stay alive, that's the priority. He pressed a pistol into her hands. Safety's off. Point and shoot. I don't know how. You'll learn. He kissed her forehead quickly. A benediction. Safe room. Bar the door. Don't come out until I come for you. What if you don't come for me? Then Day will. What if neither of you? We will. The certainty in his voice should have been comforting. Instead, it sounded like a promise he might not be able to keep. The safe room was smaller than the one at the main house. Steel-reinforced walls, independent air supply, enough food and water for a week. Amara locked the heavy door and slumped against it. The pistol felt alien in her hands. Cold and heavier than expected. Security monitors showed chaos outside. Muzzle flashes strobed in the darkness. Figures moved between the trees with military precision. This wasn't random violence. This was a coordinated assault. She found Jehoon on one of the monitors. He moved with lethal grace. Professional, controlled. A different person than the man who'd helped her bake bread. This was the man who'd killed more than 20 people. The attack lasted 40 minutes. Amara watched through cameras as the assault team was systematically eliminated. Jehoon's defensive positions were perfect. Overlapping fields of fire. No blind spots. When it ended, 7 bodies lay scattered around the property. The others had fled into the forest. Jehoon appeared on the monitor closest to the house. He was limping slightly. Blood darkened his left sleeve. Sir? Day's voice through the speakers. All clear. Sweep the perimeter. Make sure we didn't miss anyone. Copy that. What about Mrs. Kang? I'll get her. Footsteps approached the safe room door. 3 soft knocks. Pause. 2 knocks. Pause. 1 knock. The agreed signal. Amara unlocked the door. Jehoon stood in the hallway, swaying slightly. Are you hurt? It's nothing serious. Blood dripped from his fingertips onto the floor. That's not nothing. She helped him to the kitchen. The bread sat forgotten on the counter. The loaves had overrisen, collapsed slightly. Ruined, she said. Bread can be replaced. So can people. No, people can't. She found the medical kit and started cleaning his wound. A bullet had grazed his upper arm, deep enough to need stitches. Hold still. I need to coordinate cleanup. You need to not bleed to death. It's a scratch. It's a furrow. There's a difference. Her hands shook as she worked. Adrenaline and fear and relief, all competing for space. How many this time? 7 confirmed. 3 escaped. Who were they? Professionals. Ex-military, probably. Minsu's people? Or hired guns? The distinction doesn't matter. She finished bandaging his arm. Why won't they stop? Because I have something they want. Your territory. You. The word hit her like cold water. Me. Your leverage. As long as you're alive, they think they can control me. And if I'm dead, then I have nothing left to lose. The implication chilled her. Meaning? Meaning I stop playing defense. What's offense look like? You don't want to know. I need to know. Jihoon met her eyes. Offense looks like the end of the Park family. All of them. Everyone who threatens what's mine. The possessiveness in his voice should have frightened her. Instead, it made her feel something she hadn't expected. Safe. I'm yours? The question came out softer than intended. Jihoon's breath caught. Are you? I'm still deciding. What would help you decide? Honesty. Complete honesty. About what? About what you're planning to do to end this. Silence stretched between them, heavy with possibility and dread. I'm going to kill them, Jihoon said finally. All of them, until the threat stops. Even if it means war. The war already started, I'm just going to finish it. And after? After, we're free. Or dead. Or dead. Thunder rolled across the valley. The storm was moving closer again. There's another option, Amara said. What? We run. Leave the city. Start over somewhere else. Jihoon shook his head. Running doesn't work. They'll follow. How can you be sure? Because I would follow. What if we made it not worth following? How? What if they think you're dead? The suggestion hung between them, dangerous and desperate. Fake my death, fake both our deaths. And then we disappear, become different people. What about your aunt? She comes with us. What about my responsibilities, my people? You train someone else to take over. It's not that simple. Why not? Because this life doesn't let you retire. People retire from everything, not from this. His voice carried absolute certainty. Then we're trapped. Yes, forever. Unless I end this permanently. Which means more killing. Which means enough killing. They stared at each other across the kitchen island. The bread between them had completely collapsed. I can't ask you to do that, Amara said. You're not asking, I'm choosing. For me. For us. The word carried weight neither of them had expected. Is there an us? There could be. If you survive the war. If we both survive the war. Lightning flashed outside. In the brief illumination, Amara saw something in his eyes she hadn't seen before. Hope. What do you need from me? Stay alive. Let me protect you. And after the war? After the war, we figure out what normal looks like. Together, if you want. Do you want? Jihoon's voice was quiet when he answered. More than I thought possible. Something shifted in her chest, the first crack in her own carefully maintained armor. Then we survive this. Yes, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. The promise hung between them, binding and dangerous and absolutely necessary. Outside, the storm unleashed its full fury. But inside the kitchen, 2 people chose to trust each other with their lives. And maybe eventually their hearts. 3 days of siege mentality followed. Jihoon coordinated his response while Amara learned to live with constant threat. She baked obsessively, bread, cookies, anything that required time and attention. The routine kept her grounded while chaos swirled around them. Why bread? Jihoon asked on the 3rd morning. Because bread is honest. You can't fake the process. Unlike people? People can pretend. Bread can't. She kneaded dough with practiced rhythm. Her movements had become meditation. You're different than I expected, Jihoon said. How? Stronger, more adaptable. You thought I'd break? I thought you'd break a week ago. What kept you from breaking? When you lost Sarah? His hands stilled on the security report he was reading. Rage. At who? Everyone. Myself, God, the universe. Did it help? For a while. And then? Then it became a poison. What cured it? Nothing cured it. I just learned to carry it differently. How? Purpose. Channel the rage into something useful. Like protecting people? Like protecting you. The admission surprised them both. Amara's breath caught. Is that what this is? Channeled rage? At first. And now? Now it's something else. What? Jihoon looked at her directly. I don't have words for it yet. Try. Care. Responsibility. Something deeper than duty. Affection. Maybe. Love? Silence stretched between them, long and fragile. It's too soon for that word, Jihoon said finally. Is it? Isn't it? I don't know. I've never been in this situation before. Married to someone trying to kill you? Married to someone willing to die for me? The distinction mattered. They both felt it. I don't know if I can love someone like me, Jihoon said. Someone like what? Someone with blood on his hands. We all have blood on our hands. Some of us just wash it off more often. That's not the same thing. Isn't it? You think I haven't hurt people? Have you? I stayed with Trevor for 2 years, let him hit me, let him control me, let him threaten my aunt. That's not the same as killing people. No, but it's the same as making choices that hurt innocence. How? Other women saw me with him, saw the bruises I tried to hide, thought that was normal. Understanding dawned in his eyes. You think you taught them to accept abuse? I know I did. I got 3 letters after we broke up. Women thanking me for finally leaving, said it gave them courage to leave too. So you saved them. Eventually, after enabling their abuse for months. That's not your fault, isn't it? They stared at each other across the kitchen. 2 people carrying different kinds of guilt. We're both broken, Amara said. Yes, maybe we can be broken together. Is that enough? It's a start. Jihoon's earpiece crackled. Sir, urgent call, encrypted line. Put it through. Her familiar voice filled the room. Cold, controlled. Kang, Minsu, I have a proposition. I'm listening. Single combat. You and me. Winner takes everything. What's everything? Your territory, your bride, your life. And if I win? My territory, my operations, my surrender. Jihoon's jaw tightened. When and where? Tonight. Warehouse District, Pier 47. Weapons? None. Hand to hand. Witnesses? 1 each, to verify the outcome. And after the surviving organization honors the agreement. No revenge, no retaliation. None. Jihoon looked at Amara. Something desperate flickered in his eyes. I need an hour to consider. You have 30 minutes. The line went dead. Amara felt cold dread settle in her stomach. You're not seriously considering this. It's the fastest way to end everything. It's suicide. Maybe. Definitely. You don't know that. I know Minsu didn't survive 20 years by fighting fair. Neither did I. This is different. How? This is personal for him. Personal makes people sloppy. Or desperate. Desperate makes people dangerous. Jihoon stood and walked to the window. Rain streaked the bulletproof glass. If I don't do this, it continues indefinitely. If you do this and lose, I'm dead anyway. If I do this and win, you're free. What about you? I'm never free. But you could be. The selflessness in his voice broke something in her chest. I don't want to be free without you. The words came out before she could stop them. Jihoon turned from the window. What? I don't want to be free without you. Why? Because somewhere in the last week I started caring about you. Caring? More than caring. What's more than caring? Her heart hammered against her ribs. You know what? Say it. I love you. The words hung between them, raw and honest and terrifying. You can't. Why not? Because you barely know me. I know enough. You know I'm dangerous. I know you're dangerous to other people, not to me. How can you be sure? Because you bake bread at 3 in the morning so I don't wake up to disappointment. That's not love, that's consideration. Because you learned my medication schedule so my aunt never misses a dose. That's responsibility. Because you'd rather fight a war than let anyone hurt me. Silence stretched between them. That's love, she said quietly. Jihoon's breath caught. Is it? What else would you call it? Madness. Maybe they're the same thing. He crossed the kitchen in 3 quick steps. His hands framed her face. If I do this thing tonight, don't. If I do this and it goes wrong, it won't. You don't know that. I know you. You don't lose when it matters. Everyone loses eventually. Not tonight. How can you be sure? Because I won't let you. You won't be there. Yes, I will. Absolutely not. You said 1 witness each. Day is my witness. Then I'm coming as moral support. You're staying here where it's safe. Nowhere is safe. That's the point. The warehouse will be a war zone. Then we fight together. No. Yes. They stared at each other. Wills clashing. Please, Jihoon said finally. I can't protect you and fight him at the same time. You don't have to protect me. Just win. What if I can't? Then we die together. That's not romantic. That's stupid. Love is stupid. You think this is love? I think this is the closest I've ever come to love. And that's enough. It's everything. Jihoon pulled her closer. His forehead touched hers. If we do this, when we do this, and if something goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. But if it does, it won't. Promise me something. What? Promise me you'll run. Don't try to save me. Don't try to be heroic. Just run. I can't promise that. Then I'm not doing this. You have to do this. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Because it's the only way we ever get to be normal people. Normal people don't fight to the death in warehouses. Normal people don't have to. And after tonight? After tonight, we get to find out what normal feels like. Together? Together? He kissed her then. Soft and desperate and full of promises neither was sure they could keep. When they broke apart, his eyes held something she'd never seen before. Peace. Okay, he said. Okay. I'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. The commitment hung between them, binding and terrifying and absolutely necessary. Outside, thunder rolled across the valley, but inside the kitchen, two people prepared to fight for their future, together. Epilogue 6 months later, Amara woke to the smell of fresh coffee and the sound of rain on windows that weren't bulletproof. The small apartment above the bakery felt like paradise. Simple, safe, normal. She found Jihoon in the kitchen, reading the morning paper. He'd traded his tailored suits for jeans and sweaters. The change suited him. Anything interesting? She asked. Local politics, school board elections, boring things. Good boring or bad boring. The best kind of boring. She kissed the top of his head and started preparing bread dough. The routine had become ritual. Morning bread, evening conversation, nights spent planning a future that felt impossibly bright. The warehouse fight had lasted 12 minutes, brutal and decisive. Min-soo had fought dirty as expected, but desperation had made him sloppy, just as Jihoon predicted. The aftermath had been swift. The park organization dissolved, their territories redistributed, their people absorbed or relocated. Jihoon had kept his word about stepping back. Dai now ran day-to-day operations, while Jihoon consulted from a distance, close enough to protect what mattered, far enough to build something new. Your aunt called, Jihoon said. The new treatment is working. How much longer? Dr. Martinez says she's responding better than expected. Maybe 6 more months of therapy. Relief flooded Amara's chest. Her aunt would live, would see the bakery reopened, would dance at their real wedding. Speaking of weddings, Jihoon said carefully. Yes? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Not the business arrangement they'd signed 6 months ago. Something chosen with care and love and hope for the future. Marry me again? Why? Because this time, I want it to mean something. It meant something before. It meant survival. Now it means choice. The distinction mattered. They both felt it. When? Whenever you want. Where? Wherever makes you happy. Here. Here is perfect. She looked around the small kitchen. Flour-dusted counters, rising bread, morning light through clean windows. Not perfect, but theirs. Yes, she said. Yes, yes, I'll marry you again. He slipped the ring onto her finger. Simple gold band, beautiful in its honesty. I love you, he said. I love you too. Even knowing what I've done. Especially knowing what you've done. Why especially? Because you chose to become someone better. For you? For us. The word carried weight it hadn't before. Not desperation now. Hope. Outside, customers began lining up for fresh bread. The morning rush would start soon. Normal people doing normal things. Living normal lives in a normal world. Amara looked at Jihoon. He smiled back. They were finally home.